I'd like to call the Personnel Committee to order. Can I have the clerk take attendance?
Alderman Langdon.
Here.
Alderman Kruger.
Here.
Alderman Tom Grady.
Here.
Alderman Ted Grady.
Here.
Alderman Rapella.
Here.
Alderman Nichols. Here. Alderman Taylor. Alderman Sevenik.
Here.
Mayor Merkus.
Here.
All right, I'd like to motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a motion for the minutes of Personnel Committee dated 9/4/18? Stan Sevenik?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I'll move for the approval of the Personnel Committee minutes of 9/4/18.
Second.
We have a second by Alderman Kruger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. On to the action items. We have two of them this evening. The first one is the Public Works / Parks Department restructuring. We'll start it off then with Director Josh Radomski.
So earlier this year, our park superintendent retired and gave us a chance to look brand new at how we are doing things out in the municipal operations. After a little bit of discussion, it was determined that sometimes it doesn't work so well when you have a parks superintendent and a public works superintendent trying to compete to try and get the exact same amount of, or the same labor or equipment. Sometimes if, communication isn't extremely good between those two positions, lapses do occur and things don't get done, appropriately. So one step that we decided that we would try this year would be to combine the public works and street superintendent, or public works and the park superintendent position into one position, and pretty much have him lead both the parks and the public works portions. This allowed a little bit more responsibility on the street lead and the park lead, as well as on the deputy director of municipal operations. And overall, this year has been extremely positive. We feel that we've gotten a lot of work done on the parks and street side that, frankly, it's just running really well out there right now. So we want to make the recommendation to continue this with the giving the public works / park superintendent a raise to accommodate the fact that he's doing a significant amount of work that is in addition to his existing job or his current job title that he's kind of doing two jobs right now, but kind of confusing that way. Also, because there would be an increase in the responsibility of the street lead, we would like to see a small raise there, and then a small raise in the facilities technician. We would also like to hire a common laborer that would kind of act as an extra body out in the public works environment, and would allow us to utilize our common laborers to assist with the facilities technician. Currently, our facilities technician is not only doing facilities, but he's also doing all of the stoplights and traffic lights within the city, and he is spread razor thin. So to have an extra body out there to be able to help the facilities technician is something that we're definitely aiming for. Brian also has a new position, the Recreational Supervisor, that I'll let him explain.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. I just want to echo some of what he was saying about the communication end of things. I think Parks and Public Works really this summer, the communication was great. We got a lot of stuff done, and we're really looking forward to 2019. So this did present an opportunity, the park superintendent leaving, in terms of what I think is we can create a department that offers better balance of service to our residents. And so Josh has touched on the first part of it. The second part is in the recreation division. As I indicated in my memo, our department is really kind of lagged behind our neighbors. You don't have to look very far to look at some communities in our area that have recreation supervisor positions. So it's something that I think is really needed. And one of the areas that we really want to focus on is the collaboration with other departments. We want to work closely with the health department. We want to work closely with the senior center as well with this position. We have it projected as being half-time, year-round right now. There will be times throughout the summer primarily that this individual will be working more than that half-time, because obviously during the May to September months is one of our busier times of the year. So we are excited to go in this direction. And the other, there's really two main functions that we see this person doing. One obviously is the planning, the scheduling, the coordinating of a year-round recreation program. It's an area that we really lack in, is in the fall and winter programming areas. Summer, we're pretty much on par with our neighbors, but it's the fall and winter that we really fall behind. And the other, I think, benefit to this person is that we do want to find somebody with some aquatic background, some pool experience. I think would be a benefit to bring somebody in, and there are a lot of communities that have positions like this, some half-time, some full-time, but we really, quite frankly, we tried to come up with a plan that was affordable, and I think the last page indicates that we're really at kind of a break even. We're saving a few bucks, maybe making this change, which I guess is a good thing, right? So, but the secondary benefit would be that there is some pool work that would be done as well, and I'm excited about this change if we move ahead with this, and I think it really is a benefit to our residents.
Thank you. Director Jacobs, can you comment a little bit about the numbers on the back page here?
Yeah, behind the 3-page memo, which was a collaboration of not only the Parks and the Public Works Departments, you all had comments in there from the Health Department and the Menasha Library of how this coordination with the restructuring would help a number of departments. Where the pages with the numbers, I try to make it very simple, just throwing numbers into 2 columns. The column on the left of numbers was how each of the positions were budgeted for 2018. Now, these were based on annual hours of 2,080, because we did do a separate little budget area for that accruing that extra day for the 27th pay period, which will occur in 2020. So what I did is I listed all the positions as they were with the budgeted salaries, and then the right-hand column would be with what our proposal would be when we would put out the budget book in the next few days, along with converting them from a 2080 to an actual 2088, adding an extra day to all the positions individually, and then also factoring in an estimated cost of living increase of the 2.25% at this point, which would mirror what the fire department union contract had been approved at. So just as an estimation for the numbers as they are. Then I drew a line underneath each position as it was before and after restructuring. So like the Deputy Director of Municipal Operations, that position will stay in place. The 2 positions of the Public Works Superintendent and then the Parks Forestry Facility Superintendent were now converted to Public Works / Parks Superintendent combined, and then creating a park labor out of the balance of the funds for the Parks Forestry Superintendent, which no longer will be there. Then the facilities pool technician position, which no longer will be in existence going forward due to a retirement person leaving there, to have the other park labor position then being assisting for building facilities with Brian Hazley's position. And then with the facilities technician obstetrician position with additional a slight increase there. The lead person for streets with additional job responsibilities there with the pay increase adjustment. Then carving out the lead person for parks, which would now be in that tree of the new departmental structure, that a park caretaker position would no longer be there, and then would then be elevated to a lead person for parks, and then carving out the park and rec supervisor position just at halftime for 2019 at the 22,880 salary at a 50% a full-time equivalent person, and then with the three proposed adjustments that Brian suggested for a reduction in pool manager wages, rec manager wages reduction, and then a slight increase in the rec revenues due to being able to offer additional programs. You can kind of see this, my subtotal there, as shown, and then what I needed to do is to take the 2018 budget column and convert it up from 2080 up to 2088. So you're comparing apples to apples, and then if you threw the budget increase or the cost of living increase in there, you're actually converting what would have been 2018 wages or 2019 former positions at $454,217, and when you reshuffle this with the additional adjustments in wages, additional job duties with job descriptions, and creating room for the recreation supervisor, you have $253,598. So in a nutshell, when you look at the wages, it's actually a net reduction of $619. So what the team did is they threw at my court and said, okay, let's find a way to make this financially work so that you're comparing apples to apples without any impact of the 2019 budget versus what we had for staffing. And we were able to do that here, I think, with their proposed restructure of the departments and then carving out a new half-time position. We can make status quo from a dollar sense comparing last year's or this year's budget to the proposed budget for next year.
Thank you. Nice job, directors, getting this stuff taken care of. Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Grady. Back to you on the emphasis. First of all, I'd like to thank the pool technician this year. Adam Alex did a wonderful job with the pool. He took that on by himself, and maybe he should get additional wages for that, for taking on a second job for the summer. But good job with that. I just want to make note of that because a lot of people don't know that. On the recreational restructuring, Brian, there'll be no insurance with this position, is that correct?
There will be no insurance. There'll be WRS, some FICA, and workers' compensation, and that would be it. So very, very limited package.
WIRS? Help me out.
WRS, Wisconsin Retirement System.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no health care insurance?
No, not at this point.
Thanks. At this point?
What I said.
I like these part-time positions, you know, it plays into, I think, the millenniums that we have out there. They don't want to work all these hours, they don't want to, so.
That's right.
I think it's a great opportunity that kind of plays into that.
Actually, if I can just modify that statement, there would be no WRS. They would be under the 1,200 hours. So if we have the person at 1,040, they would not qualify not only for health insurance, dental, or life insurance, they would not qualify for Wisconsin retirement benefits either. So it's just workers comp.
I think in the city, again, I think it's a good way to do business.
Even if they're under 1,200 hours.
What type of fall and winter
Okay,
programs
wait.
are we going to increase with this position?
I'll let John
Okay.
restate.
Yes, Candy is saying that do it with our
Okay.
employee handbook. We do offer prorated benefits so that this position would qualify for prorated health, dental, and vision
Because
at
of the
50%.
50% per half a body, right?
So if we go,
So where's that?
49%?
That would be what we would do then, yes. We'd have to throw that amount in for the fringe benefit side. The health, dental, and life insurance would be prorated for 50% if the person so chose.
Okay. And to get rid of where this, how far do we got to go where a position is eligible for health care?
less than that. Candy's saying that it would be, if it were under 20 hours a week, then we would not have to offer. If we were at 19 hours a week, then we would not have below half-time.
So 19.5 hours a week, and we don't have to worry about benefits.
That would work, Dennis?
Yes, okay. Brian, I had asked what type of winter and fall programs would you be initiating?
There would be a lot, I think a lot of youth classes. Typically what you would see is, kind of short program duration, could be something of 4 to 6 weeks in length. I can't really give you any specifics, I guess, off the top of my head, but it would be a lot of specialized programs. Once this individual comes in, we would identify, things that are lacking in the community. And I'm sure we'll have some conversation with the health department and the library, and that's these collaborations that we want to sort of offer a more cohesive recreation program for the community.
Okay, I just see that in your writing here, that first, as previously mentioned, we'd be able to increase the amount of fall and winter programs.
We would,
Okay.
definitely.
Second, we expect a new supervisor to improve our collaborative program relationship with the health department, senior center, and other recreation providers like the Boys and Girls Club and the libraries in there. Don't you think we might be spreading this person way too thin? And then if they have to manage the pool at times?
Well, I think we want to have this person at the table with these entities, and I don't know if it's going to take that much time. I think it's just communication. Sometimes better communication can be better,
I was asked this question when we had responsibilities and things, So, are you taking care of Todd Drew okay? There's another guy that I think sometimes might be getting stretched, but on this program here, I just want, the library budget, we don't do too much with that, and I mean, they kind of answer to themselves somewhat, and you see all these different departments. I just don't want this person getting spread. And doesn't the YMCA help us with the senior program?
We envision that this would not replace or displace the contract that we have with the senior center, or with the YMCA to operate this senior center. This would complement it. So for example, if there's a room available and there's a 6-week duration for a course, that would be intergenerational, for example, that would be the type of thing we would be looking at. So it wouldn't displace our contract with the YMCA.
Okay. And Brian, we're always looking for cost to offset. Was the pool up or down in attendance? Because that revenue does help offset the things.
So we had I guess a pretty normal summer pool season. You'll see in our
I know it'll be in the budget book, but
pool budget coming up. It was about 16,000, 17,000 people served.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Rapella?
No.
Randy, when you push your button,
No.
Don't touch
he
it.
turns you on.
Oh!
You never have to retouch it.
Okay, thank you, Stan. I'll learn eventually. All right, first off, I got about 5 things here. Thank you very much, Alderman Ted Garati. And first, I want to compliment Thad. Every time I've talked with Thad, he gets things done, and he was very knowledgeable about the city garage. So kudos to you, Thad. Did good stuff. Okay, moving on. One thing I think we need to remember, Menasha has a population of 17,500 people. Neenah has over 30,000. If we look to the city of Appleton, they have over 100,000 people. I don't know if just comparing, putting Menasha in with those communities is kind of not a good thing, because they way outnumber us. We're one of the small people in the valley right now, and one of the lower income places. So I just want to make that point. I've been a teacher, and I've got yeah, I can't work this thing. Got a business degree, and got an education degree, but I don't have one of these things.
Not in electronics, right?
Not in electronics.
Okay.
And a master's degree. And I never came close to the pay that is listed on here. And I know right now the top pay in the place that I coach basketball with is like 72. And, but that's with a master's and just a bunch of different credits. And so some of this pay is huge to compare what a person with numerous college degrees is paid. One thing I would like from from all of these positions, I'd like to have a detailed list of what they do. What are their
Job description?
job description of what they do? That would be great to know what each position does. I'd like to have that at some point. Also, John, I don't recall approving the 2.2 raise for the fire workers.
The
That
union,
wasn't.
maybe I should have Attorney Captain explain that one, because I know the memo is just prepared, and I think it's going to the joint.
It will be going to
Joint.
the joint
Oh, we haven't approved it yet.
committee, that's correct.
Oh,
What-
good.
The only thing that has been approved is by the fire union.
Oh, okay.
So the fire union approved, and the negotiating team, it's a tentative agreement, which
Okay.
is subject to approval by the common councils of,
So we can
Both
still vote it
cities.
down. Okay, great. Okay. So those are the things, but I would like to have a detailed list of what you guys do before, in a timely fashion, as far as, and I will say that has been nothing but awesome. So I will leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Alderman Steve Kruger. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit Stan's button. Hold me. Alderman Steve Kruger.
Thank you, Chair. Brian, I just had one question. John did a good job of explaining a lot of it, the retirements and all that, but on the lead person for parks, that's replacing the park caretaker position, that one wasn't quite explained. Can you just briefly touch on why you're eliminating the park caretaker, and exactly how do the responsibilities for that lead person correlate to what the caretaker was doing?
So the park lead position really would be the right-hand man or person, if you will, to the new combined Public Works and Street Superintendent. We have had lead people in the past, and we think it's a worthwhile position to have, and we do have some individuals within the crew that would be, I believe, eligible for that.
Okay, so the current park caretaker is not going to be the one elevated, or is he?
Well, that decision hasn't finally
I mean,
been
the
made. but
caretaker
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
leaving
it
or
would be
anything,
somebody
he's
who's
still
in
gonna
a
be here.
position that we would elevate them, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Council President Stan Severnick.
Thank you, Chair. I think Randy makes a good point about the job descriptions. Obviously, in any professional setting, you would have a job description put together before you would even come forward to this body requesting this. But I don't think we need to be too technical here. They've been doing the job for a long time. I totally agree with you that basically the two individuals that we're really talking about today are two of our best employees. I've always had outstanding working relationships with them. But we are talking about changing the structure here and not personalities. And I agree with this structure. I think it works better for us. It's something that I believed in when we did our study in the past. And the only thing that I have some trouble with, and you've heard me rant up here in the past about the size of salaries in up here, and I believe our salaries are very unfair to the rest of our community. Ms. Nichols discussed, you know, the what people make, and they live from check to check here in Menasha, yet they're the ones paying your salaries, and they're extremely high. And I keep hearing this private sector thing, and when I check with the private sector, I mean, they're not making these salaries. And also, this is only a small component of this. There's the roll-ups that go with that. So you might see someone getting 82,000, but then with the roll-ups, you could probably add another, what percent? 29%, 30, 3.
The fringe benefits, depending on if they have single or family health insurance, it could be
Sure.
anywhere from like 33 to 40%.
So just keep that in mind too. So I know that tonight I'm not going to be able to do anything about this. This is my personal opinion. Obviously, they're paying people extremely well in Neenah. They're paying them even better in Appleton, and we have to compete with that. But one way we stop providing services to the outlying communities like we have been. And I think all department heads, from the police, fire, all the way down, have to start realizing that we are no longer a charity case here in the city of Menasha for the rest of the communities when we need to come to your rescue all the time. I agree with Ms. Nichols. There's hardship in Menasha here with a lot of the salaries that are made. And they do live check to check and probably are extremely in debt and are just trying to keep their head above water. And these salaries are very, you do great work, and don't get me wrong, I know it because I deal with you all the time. This isn't an interpersonal thing, but it's just how I really feel, and I just don't live in that world. But if anyone else has anything further, I'd like to move forward on this particular issue because I do like the structure. So I'll move that we recommend that the Public Works and Park Superintendent position be replaced with the Public Works Park Superintendent position with an additional common laborer and a half-time recreational supervisor added to the staff. In addition, a 2% raise is recommended for the street lead and facility technician position.
Do you have a second? Any questions? We have a roll call vote? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there you are. Where are you at, yeah, girl? I don't see your, no, sorry. Alderman Nichols.
Thank you. Director Jacobs, I'm looking at the financial sheet that you provided, and I'm looking at the bottom highlighted portion. And am I understanding correctly that this restructure, this proposed restructure, would come in a tiny bit less than what
on the
we
wage side,
currently-
correct,
On the
yes.
wage side, than what
Yes.
we currently offer?
That is correct.
So, you know, all things considered, I think that's quite an achievement, to be able to do a restructuring, get what you're looking for, and stay within a range, an acceptable range. People, residents in Menasha also expect a certain level of services, and there are costs associated with that. And at the same time, we have to offer competitive wages, salaries, and benefits to our employees so we can attract the best and brightest. So I support this measure, and look forward to seeing continued success.
Alderman Taylor.
I would just like, as this moves forward to council, I would like to see that, that part-time, how much the insurance is, well, how that breaks down, how it's prorated on this position.
That's something I would want to work with Candy, our Human Resources Coordinator, because I am still learning on some of the benefits of program that the city still has, and I would want to see if we could do this as affordable as possible. So if there's something with the benefits that we can, even if the hours come down even just a little bit further in the budget part of it, to see if we can kind of, at least for the, we know that maybe long-term this might be different, but right now, at the present time, we're going to take small steps on this whole direction.
Right.
And so we can see, just get somebody in here to add additional staff to Brian's department, get the rec programs that maybe are missing, and move forward with small steps on this. So we'll try to find a way, if the benefits can be definitely minimized to what I thought that they were going to be, we will find it. We will find a way, at least in the
I'd
short
like
term.
to see that break in this position.
Yes.
At
We
20
can do
hours
that.
point to 19.9 hours, okay,
Yes.
Right.
thanks.
Can I have the attorney speak on that?
For a 50% person, the benefit would be prorated at 50%. And so as an example, the health insurance, I believe, is about $12,000 a year. Is that correct for employee spouse? 17?
Ballpark, yeah, about 12 for employee spouse.
Right, 17,000 for family. There is a 3,000 deductible, 6,000 deductible, and so for a 50% benefit, I mean, that's half of that. I would venture to guess it would be unlikely that anyone would be able to afford paying for half of that benefit.
We do
That's a good
have
point.
a number of employees that are permanent part-time that are below, say, are below even 90%. And they have all waived the insurance benefits. So past practices that we, like Attorney Captain has said, we don't have, I'm not even sure if we even have one employee that actually, but there could be one in maybe the library department. But there are, in other departments, they have waived insurance. So for as been mentioned, it's likely somebody's not going to take a job for 50% and then have their benefits all going for health insurance. So.
Captain Attorney again?
I was just going to mention as well that it's at the 30 hours per week mark. That's when the city would have to worry about making an insurance health benefit affordable. But so at a 50% person, that is not obviously something that the city has to take into consideration.
Mayor?
I just wanted to comment that I'm not in favor of just getting someone because they're cheap. I'm in favor of getting a quality person, and if that requires us paying some benefits to get a quality person, if that requires us to be doing 21 hours versus 20, I think we should get a quality person. We should get someone that's going to fulfill our needs, and we should pay that person appropriately so we get someone that can actually do what we want them to do. Not just a cheap person. I would not be in favor of trying to reduce this to keep them from getting benefits. I would not be in favor of trying to reduce salaries and things like that. I want a quality person that can provide the services that we're requesting.
Alderman Rapella.
Thank you very much, Alderman Grotti. I was looking at the 2.25% raise. Now, if that is not given to the fire department, does that mean that it would have, that maybe they only get a 1% raise? And then would this drop down to 1% raise instead of 2.25?
This was just merely just a recommendation that we were considering for budget purposes. It's not locked in in either way. So we were just trying to, as we're trying to do with the Menasha utilities, we're trying to get the whole wage and fringe benefit package in similar territory. Same thing goes with across all departments and the unions and the non-represented employees. We're trying to get everything that's as comparable and as equitable for all employees working in our organization.
Okay. Thank you very much. I just want to remember that we're still $35 million in debt, so until we get out of debt, we should kind of suck it up a little bit. All right, thank you.
Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Been up here on and off since 1995, and I never heard anybody say, let's hire a cheap employee. Let's hire a non-quality employee, okay? Let's stick it to them and not pay benefits, you know? That's not the case here. Nobody said that. The mayor said that. All I asked is if I would get a written summary of what the breakdown is for that type of employee. And there's a lot of quality people out there that don't need insurance, that they may be married, their spouse might have it. So you have to look at things. Other businesses do it. Keep the bottom line down. They don't pay benefits for something. It's a position that we're just starting to look at. And Alderman Rapella hit it right on the head. Look at our debt.
Mr. Mayor?
Director Jacobs, what is our debt right now? It is not 35 million.
No, it's lower than that. I don't have the number right at my fingertips.
Okay.
Although it'll be in the budget book with.
Okay, but
you'll
it's
have-
not
you'll have the
35
debt-
million.
No, it's less than that because I know that the steam plant alone is like about 11 million and falling over $1 million a year. So.
Just wanted to clarify that.
It's likely it's under 30, so yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? We do have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call vote?
Motion carried on roll call, 9-0.
All right, action item 2 is the mechanics wage scale. Director Josh Radomski.
So as you all know, our mechanics have been doing excellent work, for a long period of time. We service not only the city of Menasha vehicles, but we also service Menasha Public Schools, we service Menasha Utilities, and police department vehicles. They've also taken upon themselves to, do fabricating of like the leaf machine last year. They created that. So we've decided to look around and kind of look at other municipalities, see where their low, midpoints, and high points were as far as the mechanics. And we felt that a 2% raise for our mechanics would put us in competition with those other municipalities. We don't want to lose any of our qualified mechanics to other municipalities because of a lack of pay. We think that they are worth far more than what they are paid. They really do an excellent job saving the city thousands of dollars, if not daily, on a weekly basis. In addition, one thing I do want to note is that these mechanics' wages, they don't come directly out of the general fund. They come out of the vehicle rental. So it's actually paid for partially by the general fund, but also by the storm sewer fund, the sanitary fund, TIF funds, and, police department, Menasha Utilities, Menasha School Districts. They all help pay for these wages. So it's not all that $3,000 or so is not coming directly out of the general fund. This is a proposal that would take place on January 1st, and it's going to be included with your budget book. So I hope that you'll take this into consideration and reward these employees for doing good work.
Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You had mentioned all the departments we take care of. I didn't hear you mention fire department.
We currently do not take care of the fire department. However, with the new facility, there is some talk that we may start doing some stuff with the fire department.
And there is a reason why we don't service their vehicles?
We have made the offer several times. I know that They have some folks in-house that are red diesel power certified. They're certified on the different manufacturers' equipment. I understand that maybe the city of Neenah has done some work on powertrain type items. Again, we have offered our services. However, no requests of us have been made at this point in time.
Are they certified mechanics, people working on their fire equipment?
Again, certified in probably Pierce products. They go to some training. I'm not aware of them being, diesel mechanics
Okay.
per se.
Or doing wiring?
That I can't speak directly
Okay.
on, I'm not sure.
All right, thank you.
City Attorney, can you comment?
Yes, the union contract does have some provisions with regard to mechanics. Yeah, there's a certification and there's a stipend, as I recall, for the fire, so that is a union issue.
Thank you. Alderman Rapella.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chairman Grady. I was going to call you Mayor Grady. All right. Josh, what are the current mechanics? Are they rated as the low, the middle, or the high right now?
Right now, they are all at step 5. So this would be an increase to their, so they're at $29.54, they'd be increased to $30.13. And then also from $28.78 to $29.36. I believe we have, is it?
I know you have 3 of them, right?
2 3s and 1 2, or 2 2s and 1 3? 2 2s, 1. We have 2 2s and 1 3.
Oh,
Right now.
2 2s and 1 3. So
Yep.
they still have to get up to the 4 and the 5 yet?
It's mechanic 2 and mechanic 3, but they're all
Oh,
at
okay,
step
I got you.
5.
I got you. All right, they're still at the step 5.
Yep.
Okay. I noticed that you used Appleton and Neenah and Beloit as the municipalities. Again, those are very large cities. Do we have the price breakdown of what the Fox Crossing pays their mechanics, or Harrison pays their mechanics?
We can get that information for the council meeting. We don't have it on the tip of our tongues. We have looked at other municipalities. These were the 3 that were easy to find.
Okay, I'm just saying that, I mean, obviously Appleton's gonna be paid higher and Neenah's gonna be paid higher because of the more people. Menasha's only grown 3,000 people in 50 years, so we're kind of landlocked, and my District 8 is very prominent in paying some of the taxes, and just trying to help out here. Thank you.
It's his choice.
Oh,
If I just may make one comment, this is all about retention, employee retention, and I realize that Appleton and Neenah are bigger than us, but what's to stop our mechanics from going over to Neenah or going over to Appleton? That's my concern, so.
Community pride, I guess.
yeah, get in. Alderman Stan Severnick.
Chair, is everyone done with questions? Because I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I think the mayor, did the mayor have what you, no, you're good. Oh, okay,
Adam,
thank
you
you.
still have something? No? Okay. I move that we recommend to the Common Council a 2% increase in the base salary for the mechanic 2 and mechanic 3 positions, starting January 1 of 2019, prior to the inclusion of any cost of living raise approved by the Common Council.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Alderman Mark Langdon. Alderman Taylor.
Oh, I still had my.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Go ahead, Stan.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to kind of echo what was said before by Josh as far as what this group of people have done in the city of Menasha. Yeah, we are the small city, and a lot of times they've come up with inventive ideas, and he gave a couple good examples. I remember, when we dropped that slurry onto the road, we were one of the first in the whole Fox Valley area to even do that. The ice rink, they rigged up a machine, a water tank thing, to instead of coming out with the fire hoses, we created a situation where it was something they invented. And then, of course, the leaf blower situation, which became an issue, believe it or not, some time ago. And it was even on the news and everything, but we've always led when it comes to that. So if these guys are this good and are doing these things and actually probably saving us money in the long run with buying expensive equipment, because this equipment, you know, is no longer a few $100,000, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's why I think that the increase is due. Thank you.
Mayor?
I just wanted to comment that, I don't know if this would be a friendly amendment or not, but the first day of the pay period is December 30th. So you'd have to, if we do make it effective January 1st, we're going to end up with 2 days at one salary and four days at the other, or 5 days. So you would be, okay, Jermaine, the 30th or the first pay period of the year.
Alderman Taylor?
I don't think there's no such thing as a friendly amendment. I think we've been told that a couple times up here. Something else, the innovation from this department is laying down the brine 24, 48 hours ahead of time. And that was one of our innovations. And I think people, sometimes I don't catch the weather forecast. I see the brine go down, and I better check the weather. Something's going on here when I see the streaks on the street. Also, something else we created was the liquid tanks on the back of our plow trucks with the salt. It helps initiate the salt to get a better road conditions. And I work for a large company, and I can't tell you how many times from a 50-mile radius, I work with people from every direction for about a 50-mile radius, and over they say when they're driving the highways to work, boy, I can't wait till I get to Menasha and how great the streets are. And I've heard that over and over through the years, and they just wish that would have went out farther for their trip to work and to work and from work. So excellent job. We've always been known for such a good public works department.
All right, we do have a motion, we do have a second. Any other discussions? Can we have a roll call vote?
Motion carried on roll call 8-1.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. And a second? We got it. Thank you.
Broadcasts of the City of Menasha Administration Committee, Board of Public Works, and Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Menasha residents and interested parties can obtain information about these meetings and meeting agendas from the city website, www.cityofmenasha-wi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the mayor's office, 920-967-3600, contacting their city alderman. Contact information appears on the website, completing the electronic feedback form on the website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.